What's going on, guys, and welcome back. So we have a fun build that we are messing around with today, and that is discard, combining Emerald with Amber, because Amber has a great follow-up to your Prince John in the form of You Have Forgotten Me, which means they discard 2, you draw 2, you go +3. I got a couple replays we'll go over here. Then we'll go to the deck profile like we always do. And again, we're going to talk about some Into the Inklands because we are so close to it. I just had a crazy game with Amethyst Steel aggro against Ruby Amethyst. Who would have thought? Ruby Amethyst, right? I got Be Prepared 4 times and we still won. I love the Amethyst Steel deck because you don't necessarily lose in the mid to late game. It's got plays that help you come back and to survive. If you want to check out that deck profile, it is up on the channel already. We did it, so go do that. But again, it's, in my opinion, the best aggro deck. It might not be the fastest, but it's the best. So we're going first in this one against Emerald Steel. So discard versus discard. Who can do it better? I know which one is more popular. We open Prince John, Tinkerbell, You Have Forgotten Me, Tinkerbell, Hypnotize, Tinkerbell, and Cinderella. So we don't really have a turn 2 play, but we do have turn 3, turn 4, turn 1. Hypnotize also going to be good. Those 3 Tinkerbells kind of sit awkwardly. Should have kept the You've Forgotten Me. I didn't realize until like actually playing the deck out. This is the very first match I did with it. It was all theory up until that point. How crazy that card has been in here. We did draw into Sudden Chill, our 4th Tinkerbell, Daisy, another Prince John, and a Ray. In this instance, Ray's got to go. He's our later gameplay. We can sing Sudden Chill for Cinderella, or we can hold it in our hand and wait till Prince John's on board to plus off of it better. We get hit by a Fire of the Cannons anyway. We draw into You Have Forgotten Me anyway. So now we're going to go ahead and get rid of Tinkerbell because we're going for the discard strategy. Passing turn again. We got Prince John. Then we can do Sudden Chill. We have You Have Forgotten Me. We have our Daisy Duck. So we're sitting in a pretty good spot. And assuming he follows the curve, and yep, there comes the Bucky. It's kind of what we expected. We draw into some really good ink, play our Prince John, and pass. Now with any luck, he will come back with his own Prince John, just following that curve. Instead, I was in not ranked here. This is that cursed merfolk. It's the 0-1. Discard to attack it, quest for 2, cost 1 to play it, inkable, card's crazy. We will talk about it in this video. Anyway, and then he goes ahead and gets rid of Smash because our Prince John has ward anyway, and it's not going to matter. Sudden Chill, we don't need 2 Prince Johns. We can get rid of the other one. That was just going to be crazy draw if we had it. Then we hit the Queen again, so she turns into ink. He's got 3 cards in hand. Not too worried because he can't clear our Prince John due to battle, so we can go ahead and sing the song to clear the last card in his hand, and we had to draw 3 in the process, and we know we're safe. I was trying to see its attack, and it was in fact 0. I wanted to check it real quick. So again, and now he comes out with Prince John, so he kind of completes his curve. Not too worried. Ring the Bell comes out as our next card. So we're sitting pretty good. He's got 3 cards on board, but nothing is very threatening. No hand, so Lucifer's not as good. Daisy Duck obviously going to help us if he keeps anything in hand. He should know not to at that point, so he gets smashed and he goes ahead and inks it. Now we're trying to just think about what we want to do. We're like, okay, we can take that out. I got the extra card to discard. He's going to draw a card, and then it doesn't matter that he drew a card because, again, Daisy's going to quest. Get rid of that card, and now we get to draw a card in the process. So essentially we traded out the card in our hand for that. And then we throw it on Ray because now we're going to start questing and applying the pressure to him. This deck was a lot of fun. I actually did take it in a couple ranked games too, and we went so close to beating Ruby Amethyst a couple times. The deck's just not quite there, but a little tweaking, and this deck actually could be good. Or with the next set, Emerald is getting so many fun toys to play with. I'm really excited to see what happens. his Tinkerbell, then we go slap a few down, and in fact he scoops. So Sapphire Emerald, and again we got to go first. We have our Bibbidi Boppity, Daisy Duck, Be Our Guest, Painting the Roses Red, Tink, Queen, and Do It Again. So we got a couple turn 2s. Search out a character, draw a card. Neither one's necessarily ideal. Bibbidi and Do It Again are more good as the game goes on. So not really going to want that. We keep our Be Our Guest just in case, and we hit a whole bunch of Hypnotizes. But we do hit our Queen and the big Queen, so that gives us a turn 1 and 2 play. And then we can always still just sing the Be Our Guest if we need to. We also hit Ray. Got our couple discards, so if we can get to Prince John, we can really go for the discard engine. Otherwise, this hand can get a little weird. Our opponent develops his brain, and then his brain has a little breakdown on him, trying to think what he wants to do. Past his turn, we draw another Be Our Guest. We're going to get rid of Ray here, shift up our Queen, and then we can just go ahead and sing the Be Our Guest. So I go to grab Daisy instead, because I don't think we're going to be in him quest or challenging me, and his hand and potential Flavisham draws. I wanted to be able to attack his hand, so that's why we go for Daisy. Grammatala comes down, then we see the Ring Your Bell. In the Ruby Amethyst one, I double ring his bell for Surfer Mini and Maui, and it felt so good. Prince John, we actually draw into it, so that's crazy because now we get to roll. We have everything we need. He's going to start losing cards. We're going to start drawing cards, and it's all going to go good from there. 3 ink, wondering what he's going to do, and he does come down with the Queen, where she discards a card, and then you get the lore equal to its questing value, but that's okay because if he uses her, we draw a card, so it benefits us anyway. Once Prince John's on board, Hypnotize is so free. Discard 1, draw 2, and we draw into another Hypnotize, so it's a slow game at this point, but it's a game nonetheless. I don't want to lose my Prince John, so we're not going to actually do anything with him yet. We want to just keep him on board. So we quested with Queen, and that is it. So Bibbidi, Daisy, double Hypnotize in hand. We're looking pretty strong. He's going to go ink the Fishborn, trying to dump his hand. I mean, he could have played the Fishborn, inked a different card, then Fishborn inked a card, just to really get rid of his hand. And then he goes and quests. He had the 3 questing Caterpillar that he hit, but again, we get to draw a card because of it, and we draw into Do It Again cards so that you can get your actions back. Then we draw into a Lucifer, so he's got 2 in hand. We can get rid of Hypnotize, throw down the Lucifer, and see what he does. Does he get rid of both, or does he get rid of 1 action card? Either way, I think it's very telling for their hand, and I really actually like it. This deck is, like I said, it's been so much fun to play. It's not the best deck, but it's a really fun deck to play, and if your hand hits, and you probably are not losing that game. So he discards 2, Prince Charming and Flynn. We draw Roses, a red, and a Queen. We already inked this turn. Now we're going to go ahead and do this. We're in such good control. I don't mind losing the Prince John, but he also doesn't have the ability to make me lose the Prince John yet. So again, we're not too worried. Draw into a Bibbidi. Then we can go quest. And here we're just going to try to, keep control of the board. Not too worried about it because look at our hand to his lack thereof. We lose our Prince John, but we have 7 cards in hand. He's top decking. Not too worried. If he had Steal, maybe, because he could sing A Whole New World. He'd have to hard cast it though, so there is that. We get to draw a card, and it's Tinkerbell. So he does have 1 card here. We do make a slight misplay though. He bounces and bounces his Hans back to hand. Fine, I guess. We didn't need to Hypnotize here. We could have just quested with Daisy, and it would do the same exact thing. So then we can go ahead, ink the Tink, play Tink, quest, and pass turn. So like I said, we could have just quested with Daisy and kept the Hypnotize in our hand. It's Duke Weaselton, and he then scoops. So we're going to hop on over to dreamborn.ink and go over that deck and talk about it, and then also into the Inklands cards as well. So here we are on, again, dreamborn.ink. This website is so cool for designing your decks and really seeing a lot of good information on it. First, like always, I do want to show the budget of the deck is actually a $45 deck. So to me, this is a super budget deck. Our ink curve, we have 8 1s, 12 2s, 16 3s, 12 4 and 5s. It's a very quick curve. It's a very quick deck. And if you know me, you know the channel, you know I love aggro. This is just a different way to aggro. You don't necessarily have to win in turn 5 or 6, but by turn 5 or 6, it's very likely you have a decent board presence. They have no hand. You have a very big hand. And at that point, you can start questing, filling your board, or just crashing your cards to take control of the board because you already control their hand and have a much bigger hand. We have 12 non-inkable cards in the deck. Again, very different curve compared to some that we've played, but kind of that 1, 2, 3, and then instead of 4 or 5 dropping off into the bigger ones, we just don't have the bigger, so 4 and 5 are in fact higher. We have 4 Cinderella because we do have 10 songs in the deck, and they come in as 3 costs or less, so her being able to sing them is very strong. And ironically, she costs a third of the deck right there. Our Queen, the Queen Shift is very strong for just clearing boards once you take control of it, for getting out a singer, for getting out a multi-quester early. Flynn Rider is a multi-quester that again forces your opponent to discard cards to get rid of him. Prince John, when you need to quest, he comes in and quests for 2, but with his ward, he becomes an issue for decks to deal with. Obviously, Grab Your Swords being a very strong deck, so especially if you go first and you can get to Lucifer, or you get to your You Have Forgotten Me, you can get your opponent to discard their cards and not be able to use those power cards against you. I would say Steel is going to be this deck's worst matchup because of the fragility of the Prince John to its cards. I mean, I guess outside of Grab Your Swords, Tinkerbell does 1, everything else targets him or chooses him, so they cannot do that with his ward. I guess it's not the worst. Daisy Duck, when this card quests for 2, they discard a card. Yeah. Everything in the deck essentially does something to help with discard, or their multi-quester evasives like Tinkerbell. She also can make another character gain evasive this turn, which helps you deal with that Surfer Mini. Again, we said the Queen, so we have our Queen. Then Lucifer coming in as our last character. Quest for 2, but when he hits the board, either they discard 2 cards or an action card. Bye-bye, be prepared. I actually lied. I did forget about our favorite little lightning bug, our easygoing friend, Ray. Questing for 3 and evasive. He can close out games very quickly, especially once you establish that board control, and he becomes very difficult for your opponent to deal with. Our actions come in at Do It Again because she lets us get back any of our other actions, such as our Hypnotize, our Ring the Bell, or our You Have Forgotten Me. So we're essentially playing 6 copies of each through the 2 copies of Do It Again. Hypnotize obviously being able to discard and draw, and when you pair it with the Prince John being able to draw 2 is very, very strong. They try to start dealing with your cards, you can go ahead and ring the bell and banish their damaged character, getting rid of much bigger threats without actually having to run into them. You Have Forgotten Me. This card followed up after a Prince John is crazy. It is a +3. It's one of, if not the biggest plus in the game. It's just crazy. Like, you play this card, they discard 2, you draw 2. That's insane. Like, discard 2, I draw 2. Oh, that sounds so fair. We have our 10 songs. The 4 Be Our Guest because it searches out whatever character you may be missing, gets you that Prince John, gets you the Daisy, gets you anything. Roses Are Red. It's just a easy draw card to really help you get to where you need to go. Sudden Chill. She's a it's a singable discard, so obviously that is going to be very good too. Keeping in mind our songs are actions, so Do It Again can go ahead and grab the Sudden Chill, the Bibbidi Boppity Boo, things like that back to our hand. So instead of playing 4s of them, we're essentially playing 4s through the Do It Again, similar to how the other cards are essentially 6-ofs. Bibbidi Boppity Boo makes your play with your Lucifer so crazy. Like, especially late game you get to that point, or if you want to sing it with Prince John, depending on where you're at, you play Lucifer, they discard 2 cards, you sing Bibbidi Boppity Boo with Prince John. Or you play Lucifer, they discard an action. Then you sing Bibbidi through Prince John, bounce Lucifer to your hand, play Lucifer again, discard 2 more cards. Now they discarded 3, you drew 3. It's just a very, very good, feels good moment. We mentioned that we were going to talk about Into the Inklands, so we're going to hop back over here, look at some of the cards, and see if they should fit into this deck's strategy. First and foremost, there is a 1-drop here missing that we sort of saw in our replay. It was the green card, the Cursed Merfolk. It is a 1-cost inkable, 0 attack, 1 willpower, quest for 2. If your opponent challenges it, they must discard a card. Absolutely, I think that card will find a place in this deck. It forces like a way to destroy it. It forces a grab your cannons, it forces some type of interaction, or it forces them to discard a card. Otherwise, you're going to be questing for like 2 to 6 very often off of that card. Neverland, it's just pretty much a vanilla, a 1. I don't necessarily think we're going to play this card. Pluto, cheaper characters, maybe, because just the threats of getting like your Prince John turn 2, that could be decent. Like you play this turn 1, exert it, then you can go ahead Prince John for 2 to get him out of turn early. Maybe the Queen package comes out. We'll see what the rest of the set ends up providing. Kita, unfortunately, no. Our puppies, the puppies are not going to make it in, despite how cute and cuddly they may be. So we have Cleansing Rainwater, banish this item, remove 2 damage from each character. That's very strong, just not in this deck. Piglet, 2 or more other characters in play, gets +2 lore. This one maybe, because if you go wide, he can go and quest for 3 as a 2-cost inkable 2/2. The only downside, and it's there for obvious reasons, is the 2 willpower doesn't solve issues, and we don't want to play into grab your swords even harder. So Piglet maybe come down to being testable, but I don't know if it's going to be good enough to get into the deck. Morph. This card is very interesting because, well, he fits some builds so crazy good. I don't know if he will in this one because we're not really shifting. We don't have those big shift targets that we want to go for, right? You have your queen, and that's really it. So Morph probably not going to get played in this version of the deck, but other versions, this card is crazy. Ursula, well, you play it, opponent reveals their hand, and then discards a song of your choice. It's a discard deck. You get to see their hand, you get the hand knowledge, and you get to discard a song if they have one. Yes, we're going to play Ursula. This would become our new best turn 2 play. Right now it's like shift into queen, go to Flynn. So quick look, the 2 queens could probably come out from Merfolk and Ursula. Without testing, that's probably the first thing I'm going to try. Pongo, Queen, both probably not going to make it in. Heal what's been hurt. Again, we're not a healing deck. Flotsam and Jetsam, both no. Lyle, again, doesn't really fit the strategy we're going for. Peter Pan, being able to move to location, gain that lore easier, could be interesting, but again, doesn't really benefit what we're trying to do. Robin Hood, 6 cost, quest for 3, 4, 5, maybe, because this card could essentially be ink or come in hard for late game. He's a little stronger than Ray, but obviously he does not protect you. or protect himself, I should say, in the fact that he doesn't have evasive. What else do we have? 99 puppies. It's uninkable. It's not an item, so no, I don't think it's going to be play. Could be neat to pack in a handful on one turn, but again, I don't think so. Big Pluto. If you play the little Pluto, like I said, you can get to Prince John turn 2. Then turn 3, hand dependent. Turn 4, you have Forgotten Me. You have, again, Pluto into a Lucifer. Turn 5, then if you go for Big Pluto, who is a bodyguard, 8 willpower. Quest for 2. There's more to his effect. There we go. At the start of your turn, remove 3 damage from this character also. So unless they're dealing 4+ to him, he's essentially not getting damaged. Maybe. This card really might. Like, multiple lore bodyguard, heals himself every turn, and 8 willpower. That's a pretty strong play, especially because, like I said, the little Pluto does have utility in that you can get to Prince John a turn early. Then you could even curb into Daisy Duck turn 3 if needed. So where would these new cards come in? Again, Pluto, Cursed Merfolk are both 1s. I'd like to keep Cinderella, but Queen can come out and Queen can come out. Who else did we like here? We liked the Pluto package, Ursula. So Ursula and then Pluto, because we got Pluto and Merfolk. Who else would come out? We could take out Tinkerbell, maybe. Do It Again could even come out. Could tone down these maybe a little, like go 3 and 3, take out Do It Again, and then we could still leave Ray or Tink, one or the other. Definitely some stuff to test and try out, but I think as of right now, the Pluto package, the Merfolk, and the Ursula all are deserving of at least testing and trying out in the discard turbo deck. Let me know what you guys thought down below, and until next time, guys, thanks for watching. Take care. Like, share, subscribe. We are so close to our giveaway. I can't wait to do it, and thank you guys for watching. See you later.